Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers, so if you like this video, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. Now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, as we reported in the previous video about NoLimit and Drench Gang's own Lil Wet being arrested and questioned by the feds, at first it was all speculation. However, one thing's not speculated is the fact that he is now incarcerated and held without bond on new federal gun charges. Sheesh. Now, ironically, in the same video I stated that if he was questioned by the feds and let go, even though he was let go, it's still not a good thing, and I'll be worried because being questioned only means that you're now on their radar for whatever reason. They're not just going to go to any civilian with a 9-to-5 job and question them because there's no reason to. So obviously, if they're questioning you or watching you of any sort, there's a reason. And a strong possibility that they're coming to get you. It's only a matter of time. Now, things have gotten serious to the point where a news article has been published about Lil Wet's arrest, claiming that during a raid on a location he was at, he threw a firearm while trying to get away from law enforcement. That firearm just so happened to have a switch attached to it, and I assume that's where the federal part comes in with him, because those switches you often hear guys rap about are illegal. So illegal firearm, illegal switch, plus someone with a background like Lil Wet's, let's just say it don't go together at all. Now shout out to X-Man Rico, because before all of this really went public and got the attention it's getting, he's the first I've seen elaborating on Lil Wet being questioned by the feds and being arrested shortly after. Which is crazy because that ties back to the whole being on their radar narrative that I was talking about. What a coincidence that he allegedly got questioned by the feds, and then right after that he was allegedly let go and his location was raided. Kinda crazy. But anyway, we're going to get into a few details that we do know in the article that was published and a few other things that Lil Wet may be tied into. Before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Now, a Yahoo article detailing Lil Wet's arrest will say, quote, "The Chicago drill rapper previously charged in a high-profile 2017 quadruple M case that was eventually dropped has been ordered held without bond on new federal gun charges alleging he threw a loaded, fully automatic pistol out a window during a police raid on Friday." Maurice Harris, 26 years old, who goes by the moniker Drench, was charged in a criminal complaint made public Monday with possession of a machine gun. U.S. Magistrate Judge Gabriel Fuentes ordered him held pending trial Wednesday, saying prosecutors had made a showing that Harris was a danger to the community despite no felony criminal convictions on his record. On Friday, federal agents were executing a search warrant at an apartment building in the 700 block of West 47th Street when they saw Harris lean out of a window with a firearm in his hand and then throw it onto the roof of the building, according to the 10-page criminal complaint. The gun recovered from the roof was a Glock pistol with a fully automatic switch loaded with 17 live rounds, according to the complaint. It's unclear what the reason for the raid was, since the warrant remains under seal. Clancy said in court that Harris had returned from doing a show in Detroit and was staying with a girlfriend. The charge of possession of a machine gun carries a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. In asking that Harris be held without bond, prosecutors played clips of his rap videos for the judge, arguing that by flaunting his familiarity with guns and bragging about shooting people with automatic weapons, he showed his dangerousness with a reality not merely part of his art. Now here's the crazy part and why I tell y'all to watch what y'all put on social media, because they even quoted some lyrics from his song which related to him using the same style weapon he was caught with. The article would say, quote, "With songs like 2023's M-Man, talking specifically about shooting people with pistols converted to automatic weapons using Glock switches. 2 switches in my hand for my AP, 2 ops they dead, they hate me." Harris raps on the song. Now, He's facing 10 years for the machine gun itself, and there's no telling how much time will be added after they include the switch on there as well. Now, another thing that y'all gotta pay attention to is that in the article they highlighted the infamous quadruple shooting that Lil Wet was accused of but never convicted for. And every time he's mentioned in an article, they always bring that up. I told y'all in the last video that they're not done with him. They've been wanting Lil Wet since that case where they accused him of allegedly catching the 4 bodies, but the only problem is that they didn't have proper evidence. And y'all know them people do not like it when they know you did something but can't convict you because they don't have enough evidence. It's like a slap in their face. So it's like you got one up on them and they don't like that. So they start messing with you for every little thing, and you have to literally be on your P's and Q's because they're watching. But if you still out there taunting, living the same lifestyle, and acting like you didn't allegedly just beat 4 bodies, then they definitely coming for you. And I think that's what Lil Wet is experiencing. Now, in the Yahoo article, they also said, quote, Harris was charged in 2017 with killing 4 people at Nadia Fish and Chicken Restaurant at 75th Street and Coles Avenue, part of a one-day spate of gun violence in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood that left 7 people dead. A day before the shooting, Harris's father, 37-year-old Jerry Jacobs, was shot and killed at 79th Street and South Phillips Avenue, and police at the time said the restaurant shooting was believed to be in retaliation for Jacobs' slaying. When Harris was charged, prosecutors said at least 2 witnesses identified him as the shooter. 3 years later, however, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office dropped all charges, saying the totality of the evidence, including eyewitnesses' accounts, was insufficient to meet our burden of proof, and we are unable to move forward with the prosecution of this case. Now, if that sounds familiar to y'all, if I'm not mistaken, 051 Melly in his case, 007 Nate, who cops originally said was the person that did it, he got caught with the weapon, he was pointed out by witnesses and all. However, the same Cook County State's Attorney Office dropped all charges for the same reason, saying that it didn't meet their burden of proof, and they pretty much couldn't move forward with the evidence in that case as well. So I don't know what that thing is about. However, they say Harris spent about 3 years in jail awaiting trial before his release in July 2020, records show. Now, once again, if he wasn't charged for it and it was insufficient evidence, why do they feel the need to even bring that up in this case? But once again, law enforcement definitely has it out for Lil Wet. Another thing I found pretty interesting within this article was the warrant. What was the warrant for exactly, and why was it sealed? Why is the warrant being kept secret, and what is it even stemming from? And honestly, this should tell you how much I'm out the loop, because I actually forgot that they can do such a thing as to have a sealed warrant, which is crazy when you think about it, because that means they've been given permission to come and get you, and you don't even know what they're coming to get you for until they decide to tell you why. Now, the only thing you know is that they have a warrant, or so they say. However, this warrant thing segues into our next point. When it was reported that Lil Wet was snatched up for questioning by the feds, Chicago Scene 88 will post about it and comment saying, quote, Wet 'em Up was mentioned in the homicide investigation regarding the M of Jeezy, NTG 079, which Marley, NLMB is now charged with. Wet was allegedly the driver on the hit. That murder occurred in October 2020, just a few months after Wet beat the quadruple homicide case. It could be related to that, or KTS Dre, or guns. That would be my guess. Now, first of all, allegedly being on a hit, or even accused of it, after you just got free from beating 4 bodies is crazy. Literally months. Like, imagine you just beat or even was wrongfully accused of having 4 bodies on your hands. After being released, your mind should be focused on staying out of jail and just being around your family. Staying completely out the way, rethinking your life, whatever. But nope. They're saying Lil Wet allegedly months after being released was allegedly involved in another body, as he's identified as the driver, along with his affiliate who's already currently incarcerated for that same body. Sheesh. Now, aside from that, people assume right away that Drench was caught up in question for the case of KTS Dre or Shooter Shells. These are both people that Lil Wet has dissed heavily in his songs, and judging from how they quoted his song M-Man about the switches, I'm more than sure law enforcement is already aware of the dissing towards KTS Dre and Shooter Shells. Now, 2 unsolved cases in which it's been reported that feds are starting to look into. So all of this should actually be interesting, man, especially given the whole war between these sides, NLMB and the shooter shell situation, the KTS stuff. Between these sides, like, it was very fatal and a lot of people lost their lives, where the cases went unsolved. And some would remain unsolved because a lot of guys actually aren't here. Now understand, there's a lot of cases that went unsolved and y'all thought guys got away with it. They did too, which is why they went online incriminating themselves in social media posts, interviews, on live arguing with their ops, tweets, songs, etc. Saying a whole bunch of things they just shouldn't be saying online. And honestly, right now, it just seems like everything is starting to catch up. One of the worst problems people have is thinking just because the feds or police haven't came yet, that it means that they got away with whatever the crime was. But that's not always the case. The O-Block trial should have told you everything you needed to know when they mentioned that a certain YouTuber has been a confidential informant since 2006. The trial took place in 2023. That's a whole 17 years. Like, that's crazy. This just goes to show you that the patience and the depths that they're willing to go to build a case. And on top of that, they're paying informants $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. That's more money than some of these guys ever seen. And some people snitching for free. So what you think these guys are gonna do given the opportunity to have 10, 20, however amount of thousands of dollars that they're giving out to these guys, man. Now, everybody's rapping about having switches, which are very much illegal. So now, even if you're in a state where the gun laws are pretty lax, getting caught with a switch can have you out here going federal with harsher sentencing because you got an illegal firearm with an illegal switch attached to it. So while y'all saying things like, oh, you know, New York and their gun laws, I can't live in New York, their gun laws are crazy. Well, you're making whatever you're doing just as crazy as New York, because at the end of the day, you're attaching something to your firearm that could potentially put you away for a very long time, turning your case federal. And it's kind of crazy because they said he only had 17 shots. You know, I don't think you need a switch for that one. You know, with just 17 shots and a switch attached, it's pretty much over as quick as it started. You know, so it is what it is, man. But it's like the more these guys attach switches and talk about switches, they just making it hard on themselves. However, law enforcement is having a field day. They're happy. Now, y'all know I can't let y'all go without a conspiracy, although I didn't make this one up, but I just got to entertain it because I want to hear what y'all think. There's people on Instagram in the comments on Chicago Scene 88's page stating that G Herbo must be telling on Lil Drench. And then they say it's because it's funny how those charges that G Herbo got, he made out with only getting probation when it was supposed to be jail time. And right after, it seems like Drench has been just going through the ringer, you know, since. Now, I always tell y'all that I don't play with that snitch word, so I'll leave that up to y'all. But do I personally think G Herbo is telling? No. No, not at all. I just think a lot of these things are starting to catch up to certain people. And when you're doing these things and you're openly bragging about certain things, it's bound for some type of repercussions to come. That it's just that simple. You know, nobody's telling on nobody, especially when you're incriminating yourself on social media. Alright, so that's pretty much it, man. Y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm gonna keep on dropping. And I'm out.